welcome to another episode of Double FM Sports. I'm Todd File.
I'm Ethan Fager.
I'm Jeremy Zrak.
And today is April 1st. It is April Fool's Day, although it's probably not when you're watching this. But for us, it is April Fool's Day. And since March has just passed, we are looking back on one of the greatest things that we could have had in March but didn't, and that is March Madness. So what we have done is JR found a projected Final Four bracket on the New York Post. So we are working off of that. And then we are working off of a bracket simulator that simulates each one of the games for this year as well that JR has online. So this is going to be fun. Might be a little long. We'll see how it goes. But we're going to go through each of the games and we'll run them through the predictions and then give a little commentary, see where that gets us. Did I miss anything?
No,
I do want to add one thing. The cool thing about this website that I'm using is you can they actually design a play-by-play for you, so we will be able to see if there's any close games that were won by buzzer beaters.
And we can also see stats and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
All right. I think we're good. So before we get into the real bracket, we're going to get into the first four because some of the seedings were still undecided. So why don't we start with Siena and NC Central?
Okay, well, purely due to record and the fact that I don't know either of these teams, I'm going to take Siena. Siena. I don't know how you say it, but...
Yeah, it kind of sounds cool, so I don't have any personal opinion or know any players in the team. Siena's my pick.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams aren't that great, but and they're probably going to lose in the round of 64 anyway. But here I would take Siena. I looked at this matchup last night. I was taking Siena there.
Are we ready to simulate? Hello? Boys?
Are we having technical difficulties?
Some technical difficulties.
Why? What's going on?
Well, what are the technical difficulties?
Don't tell me your internet ran out.
I mean, I've got my computer up and ready. I can just do it on mine if we want.
No, I got it still.
Oh, okay.
I just thought, wait, I couldn't hear y'all, so I got the game simulated if we want to go through the store.
Wait, you have it ready? You have the results?
Yeah, I got the results.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so, alright, sorry for that little technical issue. It should be better now. JR, what was your result?
I got a final score of 77-62, Siena winning over NC Central.
Okay. Alright, we're 1 for 1, all of us.
Yep. So Siena then will go on to play
Kansas.
Kansas in the first round of the Midwest part of the bracket. Moving on to, I guess we'll stick in the same day, and we'll go with the South side, and we'll do UCLA versus Texas here.
Ooh.
I gotta be honest, I don't think this is much of a hard pick. UCLA's on a pretty big upside. Well, they were on a pretty big upside coming into the conference tournament, and Texas, I'm just not sold on Shaka Smart's team this year, so I gotta go UCLA.
Yeah, I'm with you there, UCLA, for me.
Yeah, I'm also taking UCLA there. They had a tremendous start to the season. Texas had a tremendous finish to the season. But if you look at the final standings, I mean, Pac-12, UCLA is sitting in second, a distant second to Oregon as far as overall win-loss. But in conference, they're only behind one game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll take UCLA there.
All right, so I think we're pretty happy with our picks based on the simulation. I got it showing UCLA with 90 and Texas with a sad 57.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Okay, so UCLA as the 11 will be playing Penn State as the 6.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
All right. Moving over to the West, we have Robert Morris versus Prairie View.
Again, due to record based and the fact that I've heard of Robert Morris, I'm gonna go with Robert Morris.
Yeah, that was going to be my argument. I know Robert Morris more than I do Prairie View.
I actually, for this one, I'm taking Prairie View here. I mean, both of these teams are pretty similar. But I don't know. I feel like looking through the schedule, I don't know, actually. This could be a toss-up.
All right.
Honestly.
But I'm going to go Prairie View because they're underrepresented.
Oh, we got our first discrepancy.
All right, so simulation, we got a 90-77 win for Robert Morris.
Yes.
I was very wrong. So then Robert Morris will be playing
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Wait, is it Gonzaga or Gonzaga?
It's Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, okay.
What are you talking about?
No, some people like out west call it Gonzaga, so I was making sure.
Gonzaga.
I thought so.
And then the final one is Wichita State versus Richmond.
I personally like Richmond in this matchup. I thought they had a very solid season all around, and they were beating some pretty good Power 5 teams along the way. And also, it's my dad's alma mater, so I feel like I have to go with them.
I'm going to second you on that one, not for the same reasons, but Wichita State did kind of had a lackluster second half of the season, especially for being ranked during the first part. Also, I did, this is kind of unfair because it's post-tournament, I did watch something on Richmond's offense, and it's pretty nice, so I'm going to go Richmond.
Okay, I'm looking at Richmond's schedule right now, and Ethan, I don't know what you're talking about for them beating pretty good Power 5 teams.
They beat Wisconsin.
In the first game of the season.
Ethan, that was just a dig at Todd during the preseason tournament.
Yeah, that's all that was.
Yes, but also, all of the ranked teams they played, they lost to. They lost to Auburn, 79-65. They lost to Alabama, who wasn't even ranked, 90-78, and lost to Radford, who also wasn't ranked, 73-58. There's a loss to Dayton in here, 87-79.
Hey, that's not bad. Only losing by 8 to Dayton.
Ethan, I just don't think your logic was...
Well, then why'd you take Richmond, JR?
Because Wichita State's been struggling.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Wichita State here has an upside. Yes, they had a back and forth back of the season. But let's not forget here that they're still early on in the season. We're taking down Oklahoma State. Oklahoma, they beat Memphis, beat Ole Miss, East Carolina, UConn. Sure, they lost to Temple and Houston, but they still ended up beating UCF and some other, teams. Yeah, I don't know. This could be really a toss-up, but I want to go Wichita State here.
All right, JR.
Oh, I've never seen a simulation that high. I gotta be honest, I was not expecting this. Now, Richmond did win, but this score was a little high. It was 113-108.
Whoa.
Okay.
It was not.
Did it go to overtime or something?
No, it was just a pure regulation game. Richmond had 8 guys at double figures.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm 4 for 4 so far. I like this.
So am I.
Todd
I
is
am 4 I am 2 for 4, but
don't worry, Todd. Ethan will have Duke winning this, and I doubt Duke will win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Richmond then is going to play West Virginia in.
That's
the
again
Midwest.
a good game.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the East and just
Yeah,
go
we'll start.
through the round.
Yes.
Dayton Winthrop. I mean, I think I can speak for all of us when we're all gonna say Dayton here.
Yeah. Although I will be interested because JR, you were saying you ran it through the simulation yesterday, and it had Winthrop winning, right?
Yeah, I did run. I just to make sure that this website was really, really good, which it is. I ran it through the simulation 5 times, making sure the same score wouldn't come up, or there wasn't any I don't know, just weird things. And although Dayton won 4 out of 5 games, Winthrop did come out with 1 win. So, there is a possibility.
Yeah, got a 20% chance there of winning. So
who do we got?
This is a little bit of a surprise. Winthrop did not win, however. We do have an 82-79 win for Dayton.
Wow.
Okay. 3-point margin.
Was there a buzzer beat or anything?
No, it looks like it was just fouls.
How did Obi do?
Not gonna lie, it was not Obi Toppin's night. Only 9 points, but Jalen Cruncher, the point guard, did come in pretty clutch with 17.
Okay.
We're just gonna move on down the bracket. You got St. Mary's versus Oklahoma.
I mean, I'm gonna take Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. I did my little bracket thing that never really went far on my Instagram page, and Oklahoma, I feel was just a little bit better of a pick.
For me, I don't know. I was actually surprised looking at this because I'm surprised that, at the matchup because St. Mary's is 7 wins ahead of Oklahoma. But at the same time, I like what Oklahoma was doing in the back half of the season, taking down some ranked teams. I've yet to look at St. Mary's. And why can't I find their... Give me a second here. Can't find their schedule. I can't find their schedule. Wonderful. For a team with 26 wins to be ranked that low, I feel like there's probably a reason for that. So, yeah, I'm going to go Oklahoma.
All right. A solid 81-76 win for Oklahoma.
Okay. I'm still 100% on my picks.
Yeah, so am I. All right. We got the next one. This is our first, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's Butler versus Akron. I personally feel like Butler's a little questionable.
I think they're better than Akron, though. I think they'll beat Akron.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to lose to Akron. I mean, Kamar Baldwin's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Butler's going to come out with this.
I'm going to take Butler, although I do agree with they have been playing questionable. They were playing questionably as of late, so I believe they're still going to win this game.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling, just based on strength of schedule, that regardless, Butler should be able to pull this off, because you look at the teams that Butler's playing versus the teams Akron is playing, and I mean, Butler's in there with the likes of Providence, Villanova, Creighton. There's another team I'm thinking
Seton
of.
Hall.
Like that name.
Seton Hall.
Who? Oh. Yeah, Seton Hall. even Marquette. We're talking about, at least round of 32 teams and all of that. Whereas Akron is playing like Eastern Michigan and what did I see? Northern Illinois, and Ball State and those guys. So yeah, I'm taking Butler here.
Ethan, I hate to break it to both of us.
No.
Akron brings us our first upset of March Madness.
Whoa. Akron.
Yeah, really.
What was the score?
An 80-73 win for the 12-seeded Akron Zips.
Darn it! I was going strong. Okay. I mean, yeah, like we said before the simulation, we were questioning Butler's play as of late, and I guess it showed with them losing to Akron. So,
yeah.
Maryland and New Mexico State. I think I'm gonna go with Maryland on this one. I think Anthony Cowan is just gonna be too much for New Mexico State to handle.
Yeah, I definitely second that. As much as I don't like saying it, Maryland's got a really good team this year. I think they could, make a splash. So Maryland's my guys.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to go Maryland here, but I wouldn't count out the potential for an upset because, I don't know, looking at Maryland's schedule, sure, there were some wins that they got that they should have had, but then there were some wins that they didn't get that they should have had. And I saw a decent amount of upsets. You're talking teams like Rutgers, who at the time was unranked. They did beat Illinois. They did beat Ohio State at one point. But then you have unranked Iowa beating Maryland, and I don't know, sends a mixed message there, but I think regardless it should beat New Mexico State.
Maryland, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
We're all 3 for 3 on that one. Maryland, it's a pretty solid win, 83-69.
Okay.
Iowa
and Cincinnati. Oh. I'm purely based on the play of Luka Garza. I'm going to say it's going to be very close, but I'm going to take Iowa. I think Luka Garza comes in very clutch for them at the end.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that as well. I mean, Cincinnati does have Jaron Cumberland, who's been a pretty good player the last 2 years, but if I'm not mistaken, he was injured pretty close to the end of the season. If not, was still injured by the time of conference tournament. So I feel like that'll kind of be the reason why, along with the play of Luka Garza, Iowa should win this game.
Yeah, I like Iowa here. Cincinnati is good, but they're not Big Ten good. And when Cincinnati is playing ranked opponents, they tend to struggle a little bit, although they did beat Tennessee pretty handily while Tennessee was ranked. But Iowa has such a propensity for coming in clutch. I'm taking Iowa here.
Not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised about this result. I'm looking at the stats, and Luka Garza only had 9 points.
Wait, so Cincinnati won?
Yeah, I'm going to contribute that to the reason why Cincinnati pulled off this upset, 86-81.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, again, I did say it was going to be close, but just on the wrong side there. Duke and Arkansas Little Rock. I mean, I'm gonna go with Duke here.
Yeah, I feel like as much as I hate to, Duke's kind of the obvious choice.
Yeah, I think I'm with JR on this one. As large as my disdain is for Duke, and I think Duke will go out. I just don't think it's now because of a no-name team like Arkansas Little Rock. So yeah, I'm going Duke here.
All right. Ethan, you're going to be both very happy and very not so happy.
What?
Duke they did pull off the win.
Oh, it was close, though, wasn't it?
However, there was a missed 3-point shot at the very end of the game that allowed the score to be 92-90 Duke.
Oh, oh boy. Oh boy, Coach K, get your priorities straight.
So you almost lost.
To Arkansas Little Rock, yes.
Hey, we still won, so that's all that matters.
They're still dancing.
More like staggering at this point.
Good point.
Hey, we get knocked down, we get right back up.
Until you lose 2 weeks later to another unranked opponent, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
Ethan, you did take a shot at Todd earlier in the video.
Yeah, I'm just dishing it back right now.
All right. Michigan and Utah State.
I want to go on record and say Utah State has one of the most underrated players in the whole entire country in shooting guard Sam Merrill.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I absolutely despise Michigan, so I sure hope Michigan doesn't win this one. So there's a little bit of bias in this pick.
Yeah, I'm going to also go with Utah State. I mean, I don't really have the bias. I don't like Michigan State, just for the record. But Utah State did beat San Diego State to win the... What is their league? What's their league? Mountain West, yeah. The Mountain West Championship. So they can show they can beat good teams. I'm not saying Michigan's a good team. I just think they're going to beat Michigan.
This one intrigues me, actually, because Michigan early on was doing pretty well, but then they just kind of got swarmed at the end of the season, started dropping a lot of games, especially to the ranked opponents. But the first month, they were flying pretty high, beating ranked teams while they were unranked, taking down UNC, Gonzaga. But I'm not saying I want Michigan to win here, because I also have great disdain for Michigan. But I'm not sure if Utah State is going to be able to pull this one off. I think it'll be, honestly, a toss-up, but I'm going to go Michigan here.
Todd, you are the one and only correct person.
No!
We got an 82-73 win for Michigan. That one hurts.
Gosh, come on. All right, Villanova versus North Dakota State. Now, I'm going to be honest, looking at the 2 seeds here, I would say Villanova's the weakest 2 seed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, I mean, Michigan State is on here too, so I was thinking you were going to agree with that. I think, although Villanova 24-7, not the best year, I still think they're going to easily handle North Dakota State.
Yeah, I don't think this is a 2-15 matchup that we've seen in recent years that can result in an upset.
And believe me, as I say it, me and JR have both been victims of that.
Yeah, we know what it feels like to be a 2 seed and lose. Don't say anything. You guys don't know what it's like to even be a 2 seed.
Oh!
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to give my opinion on the game, but since you're taking pot shots at me.
Hey, I had to get in on the fun. You guys are going at each other.
I mean, he does know what it's like to make the national championship and lose the national championship.
Yeah, well, so did both of our teams, too.
Yeah.
Wait.
Also, Ethan, at least we don't, trip other players while they're actually playing.
That was never confirmed that happened. That was an accident.
Isn't there video evidence?
It was an accident. I maintain
every game.
No.
Accidents do not happen every game.
Okay. All right. We should probably get off this topic because we're running a little long. So
yeah.
What was the result?
I'm going Nova here just because. Not going to discredit what North Dakota State has done this year, but I just think Villanova's better.
Yeah, and we are pretty correct there. 78-69 win.
Oh, not as big a win as I thought it would be.
Not as big, but it was, it's still a 9-point win.
And yeah, actually, come the tournament, that's pretty significant whenever you're playing. So, do we want to move on to the Midwest? Just go down that line.
Or do we want to keep? Okay. Cool.
I'd say just keep it in the same round, but
yeah, let's do that.
So Kansas versus Siena. I unlike Dayton versus Winthrop, I'm a little more sure about this one. I'm going to take, I think Kansas will easily handle Siena here.
Yeah, I'll second that. Kansas is definitely a possible Final Four, even national championship team, so Kansas is my pick.
Yeah, I'll make that 3 based on A, strength of schedule, B, Siena dropped to Xavier 81-63, and that was their only ranked game. So yeah, I say Kansas blows out Siena here.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely call the score 98-68 a blowout.
Yep, that's a blowout. All right. Well, Florida versus Southern Cal, which I'm assuming that's USC.
That is USC.
Okay. I am going to take. I'm going to take the Gators. I think USC next year's recruiting class, as we've been tweeting. By the way, go follow our Twitter. I think Florida's going to win this one in slight fashion.
I just thought about Florida winning. I don't know if it'll be slight. I like Trey Mann. I'm pretty sure he's a point guard. I'm kind of I don't want to say big fan, but I do like him. I like how he plays. I think Florida gets it done.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Ethan was saying about this one being close. Florida spent maybe, I don't know if half is the right word, maybe at least a third of the season in the top 25. So, and not that USC is a bad team, but I'm going to go with the upside of Florida here. And yeah, I'm going Florida.
A solid 78-68 win for the Gators.
Okay, all right. I like it. Auburn versus East Tennessee State. Although East Tennessee State was 30-4, and they were in the top 25 at one point, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
They were at least getting votes. I know that.
Okay. I'm still going to take Auburn here. I just think their strength of schedule, being in the SEC, I think that means more than I don't know where East Tennessee State, what conference they play in. So I'm gonna go with Auburn here. I don't see an upset.
I'm gonna agree with your pick of Auburn, although I do think I don't know for what reason. I don't follow East Tennessee, so I don't know why, but I was hearing in the weeks leading up to the tournament that East Tennessee could be a pretty big sleeper team. So I wouldn't be surprised if East Tennessee made it close, or maybe even pull off the upset to an Auburn team that, didn't replicate their first half of the undefeated season.
Yeah, Auburn, the one thing that concerns me there is they dropped a couple of high-profile upsets. You're talking, what was it, Alabama? That's the only one I can think of right now, but I know there were at least 2 more in there. And looking at ETSU's scores, I don't know, the teams that they did play, they're blowing out a lot of them. There are a couple concerning losses here. Well, actually just one, and that was a blowout loss to Mercer, but then they went and beat Mercer the next time they played them. So I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go East Tennessee.
East Tennessee looks like they played a pretty good game. However, Auburn did win it down the stretch 77-74.
Okay. Still close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely give East Tennessee a good pat on the back for what they did there.
All right, Wisconsin versus Vermont. As much as I want to pick Vermont just to upset people, I think Wisconsin's gonna pull this out. I think it'll be close, but
Yeah, I gotta go Wisconsin too. Vermont had a pretty decent team like a year or two ago, but I don't think that team is the same as what it is now.
Well, and you got to look at strength of schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
who is Vermont really playing?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even sure what conference they're in at this point. So
They are in. Let me see here. They're in the America East Conference.
Yeah.
With Stony Brook and what is that? Hartford,
it's not
New
bad.
Hampshire, UMBC, Albany. Those guys.
That's not.
but there's a reason why Vermont's usually in the tournament, and that's because they're the only besides UMBC that one year they beat Virginia. So famously, I mean Vermont's usually in the tournament because there's not much strength in that conference, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, they're winning a lot of games, but they're winning a lot of games against teams that really aren't that great. I'm going to go Wisconsin here.
All right, we have our first overtime game of the season, but
Oh, no.
Wisconsin did pull it out 75-71.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh, this one could be interesting. West Virginia versus Richmond.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know who to pick. West Virginia, they've had a really up and down season, I feel like, and I just don't know how they're going to play us. And then also seeing how great that offense of Richmond was in the first simulation against Wichita State, putting up 113 points. I don't really know. Simply because I like West Virginia more, I might go West Virginia, but I could definitely see a potential upset here.
Like you said, West Virginia's has an up and down season, and I think they're gonna have a down game, and I don't think they're gonna be ready for Richmond. So I'm going to take as an upset Richmond.
Honestly, for me, for West Virginia, I mean, we keep saying they had an up and down season, but it was pretty much up except for February. That's really when they started dropping a lot of games, and it was to mostly ranked opponents. Well, except on the back half, you get TCU, Texas, and Oklahoma all in succession. And I recognized the potential upset in Richmond, and I'm always a sucker for upsets. But I don't know. I'm going to go West Virginia here.
Ethan, you made a pretty smart pick. Not only was it an upset, but it was an upset of 11 points, 79-68.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
All right, buddy, don't get too ahead of yourself. Just wait till Duke loses in round 32.
Yep.
Oh.
Also, I just want to put this out here as a news bulletin on a separate topic, but UEFA has suspended the Champions League indefinitely.
Oh yeah, I did just get that.
I mean, I'm truly shocked by this move. No, I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I was figuring that was coming. So.
Yeah.
All right,
Creighton versus Belmont. I like Creighton, so I'm going to take. I don't know what their name is. I'm going to take Creighton.
Yeah. I like Belmont. I'm not gonna lie, but I like Marcus. Wait, is that his first name? Zagorowski, their point guard. He's a really great point guard that maybe not got the recognition that he should have got with the great point guards of college basketball this season. So I'm gonna go Creighton simply because Zagorowski plays amazing.
Yeah, I'm going Creighton here. Again, strength of schedule. And I look at Belmont, and they're playing teams like Lipscomb and Kennesaw State, and then as soon as they play someone like Alabama, they lose by 20 points. So, yeah, I'm going to go Creighton here.
All right, Creighton, 89-79. And going back to what I said about my boy Zagorowski at the point, he had 35 points.
Oh, and just a side note, guys, we're 35 minutes in. So do we just want to do the whole left side of the bracket and then save the right side of the bracket for another episode?
I'm cool with that.
I was actually thinking, what if we did the whole round of 64?
That's cool with me too.
Although then we might not remember our picks.
That's what I'm saying. So then we can just have our champion. I would say just go through the whole left side, then maybe we can do the whole right side, like, for another episode or something.
Yeah, that's cool with me. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Moving on, then we have Virginia versus Texas Tech. I'm going to take Virginia. I thought they played very well, especially at the end of the year. That allowed them to get a share of the ACC. So I'm going to go with Virginia.
Virginia's, they had a really good finish to their season. I really hate their point guard, K.A. Clark. So solely based on that, I'm going to go with Texas Tech. But I do also want to point this out. I find this a little bit funny. I'm looking at this Midwest bracket, and your whole entire 2019 Final Four is in this Midwest bracket. Auburn, the 5 seed, Virginia, the 7, Texas Tech, the 10, and Michigan State, the 2.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Virginia. Todd, who you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with UVA here. They had a nice finish to the season, and if this bracket had actually happened, all of that momentum is going to carry over against a Texas Tech team that was good, but I don't know. To me, it just kind of struck me as kind of meh, you know?
Yeah. Just to point out, this is not the official bracket either. This is from the New York Post. I think we mentioned that earlier, but I just wanted to mention that again, that the NCAA did not release the bracket. I almost wish they would have, because that would have been much more fun for us, but...
Yeah, definitely.
But this is the projected bracket.
Yeah.
Texas Tech held to their defensive mindedness of last year, only allowing Virginia to score 57 points en route to a 66-57 win.
Darn it. Okay. All right, well, I guess we're going to move on to the last round of 64 game that we're going to do in this episode. Michigan State and UC Irvine. Now, Michigan State has been in the 2 seed before, and they have lost. But,
yeah, so is Duke.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm going with Michigan State. I think they're going to pull it out.
As much as it scares me that Michigan State's in the 2 seed again, and there's a potential for an upset, as there always is. I think Michigan State had, and yes, this is biased, but Michigan State had one heck of an end to their season. And Cassius Winston was finally playing basketball the way we expected him to all year. Not to mention Xavier Tillman, who recently declared for the NBA draft and is now actually a projected first-round pick in some mock drafts. He's really come into his own. Michigan State, I think, handily wins this.
Yeah. You've been hearing me say this all day, but strength of schedule. And as much as I'd like to see UC Irvine pull up a little upset here, the teams that they are playing aren't that great, and they're losing games to the teams that aren't that great. They're only 4th in their conference, which honestly makes me wonder why they're even in the bracket. At 13-18 overall and a 9-7 in the bracket, and they're dropping teams essentially to other UC schools. So I see MSU winning here.
Solid 17-point win. I'll take it. MSU moves on.
Okay, and now, like I said, we're going to move on to the second round of the left side of the bracket. Starting off, we have Dayton and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the first round, Dayton did scare us with an only 3-point win over Winthrop. However, I do think they're going to get their act together, and I do think they're going to beat Oklahoma here. I think it's going to be close, but I do think they're going to win.
I can see it being close just because of how they played in the first round. However, like we did mention, Obi Toppin did not have the greatest of games. I think Obi Toppin comes back, puts up double-digit points, has a really good game, and Dayton comes away with a decent win.
Yeah, I think if Obi Toppin and has the night that he wished he had on March 19th against Winthrop, I think if Obi Toppin is back to the Obi Toppin we know, then, yeah, they handily beat Oklahoma. But Oklahoma is one of those sleeper guys that always has the potential for an upset. So I'm going to go Dayton here, but it could possibly go for Oklahoma.
Yeah. Dayton did get their act back together, not only winning the game, but winning the game by 13 points, 85-72.
How did Obi Toppin do?
Obi Toppin had 18 points.
There we go. That's back to what Obi Toppin usually does. All right. Akron and Maryland. Now, although Akron did beat Butler, I think that was a one-time thing, and I think Maryland will I think Maryland will win.
Yeah, I think Maryland's a better team than Butler is. You can see that with the seeding. Maryland's the 4, Butler's the 5. And, again, same reasons that we thought Butler was going to beat Akron. Akron is not that great. I got Maryland.
Yeah, the sensible part of me says that Maryland should win this. But like I said earlier, I'm a sucker for upsets. I want to see Akron take down Maryland, and Maryland has shown some signs of weakness, dropping some pretty big games and some upsets in there. So I am going to go with Akron.
Oh, boy. All right, JR, you're the results guy.
Todd, what do you know that I don't know? Because Akron just pulled off another 5-point upset.
Okay.
Well, it looks like we could have a Cinderella team right here.
Yeah, Akron is officially into our Sweet 16.
So we've lost Butler and Maryland. The notable teams we've lost so far, Butler and Maryland.
Yeah.
And West Virginia, but we'll get there. Iowa and Duke. Now, I would be very excited.
No. Iowa lost.
No, they didn't. They won.
No, Iowa lost, remember?
Oh, shoot. So Cincinnati versus Duke, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Darn it. I was looking forward to Luka Garza playing Vernon Carey. That would have been an interesting matchup.
Garza would have had his number all night, guarantee it.
I don't think so.
Luka Garza is the best player in the country, and it hurts me to say that, but that's true.
No, he's not the best player in the country.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Obi Toppin is. Or Anthony Edwards.
No, not Anthony Edwards.
Okay,
even.
well, Duke versus Cincinnati, yes, there's bias here, but I'm going to take Duke.
I think it's... Go ahead, JR.
I just got a short little thing. Based on the fact that this does not take injuries into account, I don't think because Joe and Cumberland played that first round, I don't know. I could see Cincinnati upsetting Duke, and I want that to happen, so go Bearcats.
As much as I want that to happen, and yes, Duke did show signs of weakness. They only won by 2 points against Arkansas Little Rock. So at the same time, I doubt Cincinnati's ability to pull off the win here. But this could really go either way. I'm going to go Cincinnati purely for the potential upset.
Oh, boy.
Ethan, for a second time this video, you're going to be both really happy and really unhappy. Duke pulls off a win. However, it did only come by 3 points, 84-81.
This is like last year. Like, we won a couple games by, a combined total of, 3 points.
Yeah, you remember what happened last year after you won a few games by a combined total?
Hey, what happened this year? What happened this year?
I don't know. The tournament didn't happen.
No, what happened this year in the regular season? At Michigan State, Duke comes in and pulls off, a 10-point win.
But that was, December. You got to realize that we're talking March. December doesn't matter when it comes to a national championship.
Well, if RJ Barrett can make 3 free throws, we'd be talking about something else right now.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Hey, let's remember what our time is right now, and that we had to cut this video in half. So let's keep moving here, okay?
Yeah. Michigan versus Villanova. I'm taking Villanova.
I hate it. Like we said in the beginning of the video, Villanova was a week 2 seed, and as a Michigan State fan, I do watch almost as much Michigan cheering for them to lose as I do Michigan State. And I don't know. I see Michigan pulling off an upset here.
I don't know. Both of these teams have a propensity for choking when it actually matters. I'm going to go Nova here.
This one hurts Michigan.
No!
A 6-point win, 82-76.
Oh, I'd actually rather play Michigan than Villanova, so I'll take it.
I don't know about that for the exact same reason. I just picked Michigan.
All right, well, we'll get to that whenever we get there. Kansas versus Florida. Although, like I said before, I really like Florida. I believe Kansas is gonna pull this one out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said before, I think Kansas is a Final Four, maybe even championship team. I like Florida, but I don't like Florida's odds in this game.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take Kansas here, but I wouldn't put an upset out of the realm of reality here. I think it's definitely possible for Florida to pull this off, but I'm gonna, you know what? I'm changing it. I'm not going with Kansas. I've got this gut feeling that Florida might actually pull this off, so I'm going Florida.
Badoka has a Buki. I'm looking at the scoreboard. Guy had 15 rebounds and 20 points, and that was a big contributor to why Kansas just won this game 79-68.
Okay. I was very wrong.
Auburn versus Wisconsin. Oh, I'm gonna take Auburn here. This is a very close one, but I'm gonna take Auburn.
Todd, you're going to be happy about what I'm thinking right here. You know, despite maybe hearing more about Auburn this season than Wisconsin is the 4th seed. So, again, kind of like the same thing as Michigan. I do watch a lot of Big Ten basketball, so I've seen Wisconsin play a lot, and they are a legitimate 4th seed. So, I think I'm going to go Wisconsin.
Part of me thinks that Auburn is probably going to win this, but partially out of my allegiance to Wisconsin, and also the amount of upsets that Wisconsin has pulled off this year against teams that were better than, well, obviously better than them, but like teams that were ranked much higher than them. I'm going to go Wisconsin here and hope for the best.
Ethan, it was an 88-84 Wisconsin win. So you're wrong.
Yes.
Oh, no. Whoa. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that puts Wisconsin Badgers into the Sweet 16.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Well, 2 of our 3 teams are in the Sweet 16. So we'll see.
Don't worry, it's not going to happen again this year.
You hope.
It's not.
Creighton versus Richmond. I'm going to take Richmond here, actually. I think they're going to upset. I think they're going to...
Same reason I took Creighton against Belmont. I think Richmond's a pretty good team, but Zagorowski is just... He's an absolute beast. I'm going to go Creighton.
I don't know. I feel like each of these times I've been picking against Richmond, and Richmond keeps just like throwing pie in my face. So I'm going to go with Richmond here. You won me over. If you can't beat them, join them.
Well, we had a almost 100-point game. Creighton handily beats Richmond by 15, 99-84.
84 points for Rich. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all, but I mean, they did score both 113 and almost 80. So, I mean, they've got a pretty good offense.
They have a pretty good offense. They've seen a better defense from what it seems. Texas Tech and Michigan State. Well, I mean, I think JR has nightmares about last year with this.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I know we're talking about this year's tournament, but as soon as I saw the fact that we were paired against Texas Tech, I immediately knew that it was gonna be a tough game last year because Texas Tech was so good defensively. However, that is not interfering with my pick this year. Texas Tech is a whole different team without Jarrett Culver. There is no way we are losing twice in 2 years to Texas Tech in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna take Michigan State here.
This one's tough for me. Really don't care who wins this one. But I'm gonna go. You know what? Yeah, I'm going Michigan State. I just don't think Texas Tech has an upset in them.
All right. Well, all three of our teams have officially made it to the Sweet 16. Michigan gets by Texas Tech 80-75.
Oh, it was a close game. Okay. We go to the Sweet 16. Dayton versus Akron. I didn't think I'd be saying Akron in the Sweet 16, but
I didn't think I'd be saying Akron in the round of 64, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Dayton. I mean, as much as I would love to see Akron win, and I'm like Todd, I'm a sucker for upsets when it doesn't come to Duke. I just think Dayton's gonna pull it off. I think Obi Toppin's gonna be too much for them to handle. I mean, I loved Akron and what they did, but I think Dayton's gonna win.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Dayton, even after a 3-point win to Winthrop in the round of 64. Dayton's got to pull this off.
I think the sensible part of me is telling me that Dayton is probably going to pull this off. But I will say, I mean, JR, you mentioned that 3-point win against Winthrop, and Winthrop was 24-10, Akron was 24-7, and Akron seems to have a little bit of that playoff magic. I mean, they've already made it to the round of 16, so I'm going to pick Akron here.
Oh, boy.
Dayton gets the job done. Another easy win for them by 15 points, 89-74.
Wow.
Okay, well, there goes our Cinderella team.
Yep.
Duke versus Michigan. I'm going to take Duke here. I'm actually interested to see what JR, because I know JR hates both of these teams with all of his heart, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I do hate both these teams with all my heart. And this one hurts either way. I don't know. I gotta be honest here. Ethan, you're gonna hate me. For the same reason that I took Michigan over Villanova, I think I'm gonna take Michigan over Duke.
I don't know. I feel like both of these teams are similar in their ability to drop important games, or just to drop games, period. But I think Duke is going to eke it out.
Ethan, you remember how you said that you really wanted a Vernon Carey versus Luka Garza matchup?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Well, you didn't get a Vernon Carey versus Luka Garza matchup. You got a Vernon Carey versus John Teskey matchup. And John Teskey absolutely ate up the freshman. We're not talking 10 points. We're not talking 20 points. John Teskey in the simulation had 35 points.
No.
Michigan goes on to beat Duke 93-84. Wow. That one hurts, doesn't it?
Oh no.
All right, moving on.
Okay, what are the two teams here?
Kansas versus Wisconsin.
Alright. Todd, I am sorry. I can't take Wisconsin. I have to go with Kansas.
Yeah, I think I've said the last 2 games, Kansas is just, it's one of those teams that I definitely see making the Final Four. I mean, hopefully Michigan State beats them, but I gotta go Kansas.
Yeah, you guys are both probably right, but this is one of those where I just have to cling to whatever part of reality I can. And like I said earlier, Wisconsin has a really large upside when it comes to upsets. So I'm going to go Wisconsin and hope for the best.
Todd, you got close. Wisconsin did not pull off the upset. However, it was just a 2-point win for the Jayhawks, 76-74.
Was there a buzzer beater or a missed layup?
No, this was just a, fouling to get back into reach kind of thing that just, they made their free throws.
Okay. Well, 2 of our 3 teams did not make the Elite Eight. We're
praying for one of them.
Okay, so we have Creighton, Michigan. Oh boy. I think Michigan State's gonna eke this out by like 2 points.
I gotta be honest. This point guard matchup scares me. It reminds me a little bit of Miles Powell versus Cassius Winston back in the beginning of the season. Zagorowski versus Winston. The only reason that I'm going to the Spartans is I think they have a little bit more depth on the team. It's not completely just Zagorowski. It's, a bunch of guys playing their roles. So I'm going to go MSU.
I'm also going to go MSU to my disdain, but I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to give you a bold prediction here and say they beat Creighton by at least 8 points.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I sure hope. Oh, this one hurts. This one hurts, boys.
Did Creighton win?
Just let me speak on what just happened. You remember how I said this has a play-by-play to see if there was buzzer beaters?
Yes.
Well, here you go. With 10 seconds left, Michigan State is up 2. Or no, they're up 1. It's 83-82.
Oh, no.
Xavier Tillman gets fouled, goes to the line, misses both 3 throws, and not Zagorowski, Mitch Ballack, I don't even know who he is, hits a game-winning shot from the elbow with 0 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, my gosh.
That hurts.
All right, well, we learned...
physical pain.
Well, I guess none of our teams were good enough to make it to the Elite Eight. Oh, and another question. Why is Spokane, Washington in the Midwest here?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
why is Penn State in the South?
No, I'm saying, Spokane, Washington, it's a city that the Midwest teams are playing in Spokane, Washington.
Right, I know, but I'm saying it's the same reason for, some of these South teams being in the South, and also, why is Albany in the South?
Okay, yeah.
Or Omaha.
Yeah. All right, the Elite Eight.
Right.
Dayton versus Michigan. Now, as much as I hate to say it, I can't believe I believe Michigan's going to win.
I've been going with Michigan as much as it pains me to, but I think this is where their run ends. I think, although I got a lot of respect for Vernon Carey and Ethan, I'm pretty sure you'll be happy to hear that. I think Obi Toppin is going to be able to shut down John Teskey, unlike Vernon Carey, so I think Dayton pulls this one off.
I think really it depends on Obi Toppin's ability to play. I'm going to go Dayton purely out of my hate for Michigan.
Ethan, you're not going to be too happy. Dayton did pull off not just a win, but by 10 points.
Yes.
Ethan, you picked Michigan.
I don't care. I thought they were going to win. I didn't want them to win. I wanted Dayton to win.
Fair enough.
All right, and then the Elite Eight, Kansas and who is Creighton. I'm going to take Kansas on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to second that. I thought Michigan State was really the only challenge for Kansas on this side of the bracket. And, well,
we know what happened.
I'm going to stop talking about Michigan State now. I think this is where, I know I've said this guy's name every single time that Creighton's played, but I think this is where Zagorowski's run ends. I think Kansas comes away with the win.
Yeah, I think Kansas is going to win this one, plain and simple.
All right, I mean, Creighton here played a solid game, but Kansas did come out on top 72-66.
Hold on, just for some clarification, if you go to the top right, it says LSU is 12-6 for the record. I just noticed that, and I'm kind of confused.
They probably screwed something.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll check in on that.
Give me a second. Not 12-6. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think a team can make it. I don't think. Yeah, a team plays like 20-some games in a season. I don't think LSU's 12-6.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Oh, I'm actually really excited for the right side of the bracket. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I feel like the right side of the bracket has just closer games, I guess, or like, I don't know. I like the right side of the bracket more than I do this left side of the bracket.
But
I found out what they did. LSU is 12-6 in the SEC.
Oh.
They're 12-10 overall.
Okay.
Come on, New York Post, you're slacking over here. You know, I don't like hating on people, but come on, New York Post.
All right, do we want to do the Final Four matchup on this side of the bracket?
We might as well. And then we're gonna say we have the champion on this side, and then we can just do the other side in another episode. So is it Dayton versus? Yeah, it's Dayton versus Kansas. I'm gonna take Kansas purely because of I think Kansas will just eke it out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like a broken record with two things, both the Creighton point guard and Kansas. However, I'm gonna stick to what I've been saying. Kansas is possibly a championship team. I think Kansas pulls it out.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kansas here. Make it 3.
All right. I mean, signs of the Dayton versus Winthrop game. Obi Toppin did not have the best game of his career. Kansas pulls out a 9-point win to advance to the national championship, 92-83.
Okay, well, I guess our champion Kansas, that's not really much of a shock. I mean, I guess some of the picks, like, I didn't see Akron making the Sweet 16. And I didn't see Michigan making it as far as they did.
I definitely didn't see. I mean, in the Midwest, it was the 1 through 4 seed, so I guess that's pretty obvious. That I guess like when you look at it on the,
And the 2 and 3, yeah, it was pretty. I mean, I'm a little surprised Villanova lost that early as well. But like I said before, I thought they were the weakest 2 seed out there.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that.
So, all right, well, I guess Kansas is our. We've got one spot in the championship set, and that'll be Kansas. And I guess in the next episode, we're gonna find out who another champion is. And and in that episode, we'll also play the championship game.
Yeah. I gotta be honest though. As much as I love this simulation, I do wish there was a little bit more buzzer beaters. Now, maybe there will be more buzzer beaters on the left side or the right side of the bracket, but the only buzzer beater that was this whole entire side of the bracket was the one that hurt me.
Yeah.
Well, that is unfortunate. Not really, because we don't really care about Michigan State except for you. However, I do want to say before we wrap up here, another breaking news update. Wimbledon has been canceled this year and will not be happening, for those of you that actually care about tennis.
That's probably like 2% of people that watch this, so.
Hey,
Yeah, but a lot of people watch Wimbledon. So.
Yeah. No, wait, I do watch Wimbledon.
I personally am not a tennis fan, but tennis players are people too, Ethan. So show some respect.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. You can't. I mean, they go out.
I mean, if we're trying to get athletes on, I probably should not be saying that, but
Yeah, come on, buddy.
I do respect tennis players. I will say sometimes tennis is not the most interesting sport to watch. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, we'll leave it at that. We're running kind of long here, probably about an hour-ish.
Yeah, I mean, well, we did have an hour and 50-minute podcast. That's...
Yeah, and I think this is kind of, I mean, besides our special guest, that...
I mean, can we say it? Because you have made it public.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go at it at this point. By this point in time, unless you're watching this video out of order of our podcast, you know that our special guest is Kyle Lawrence, Michigan State basketball player. So,
yeah, and we're planning on filming that Friday, and we're
April 3rd. So
yes, and that'll probably be released Saturday the 4th.
Yeah,
If all goes well.
Yeah, our viewers should be able to see this video post that interview, so there's no spoilers.
Right. I think that's pretty much all we have.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up now because we've already taken enough of your time today. So, for Double FM Sports, I am Todd File.
I'm Ethan Fager.
And I am Jeremy Zrak.
And we're signing off until next time, where we're going to cover the other side of our projected March Madness bracket.
All right, see you guys.